Hello and welcome to the preview of the Swift Business Forum Ireland, being held in Dublin on the 30th of April. I am Joy Macknight, Managing Editor at The Banker, and with me is Cate Kemp, Head of UK, Ireland and Nordics at Swift, to discuss the main themes of the conference. Cate, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So what do you think will be top of mind at the Business Forum Ireland?
Well, this is our first Swift Business Forum in Ireland. I'm hugely excited about it. It will be a chance for people to network, to collaborate, and also to take a step back from their day jobs. It's also going to be hugely content rich. Everything starts with the customer, so we'll be talking about customer, technology, innovation, risk, regulation, and of course people.
Obviously, there's a lot happening on the European payments landscape. How do you think that Irish banks can really stay competitive?
It's a fantastic time for the Irish banks to compete. And in fact, we'll be seeing a lot of that, I think, at the Business Forum in Ireland. We've had a lot of interest from across the community. And it's not just, of course, from the banks, but it's also across the emerging fintechs who are all part of that evolving ecosystem. But I do think it's going to be about those who manage to innovate, but also stay resilient and safe and do brilliant things for their customers who will really win out.
Okay. And obviously, again, in Europe, the Payment Services Directive 2 is coming in, open banking. How is this going to impact the banks?
In many ways, it doesn't affect the Irish banks any more than any others across the European ecosystem, although that combined with the growth that we've seen in the Irish marketplace does place a lot of additional work on organisations actually to be able to deploy, and we've seen in other areas of Europe that people are finding that quite problematic. That having been said, from a customer perspective, from an end customer perspective, I think it creates a wealth of opportunity across the ecosystem. So I think in the longer run it will be really good for the community.
Okay. Cybersecurity, always a hot topic at different business forums. What do you think are the biggest challenges now and how can banks address them?
It's happening. Criminology is happening on an industrial scale. Criminals are using the same technologies as the organisations that will be talking to the Business Forum to try and beat them at their own game. So we need to absolutely operate together as a community to button down security. And that's not just about the day-to-day controls. A lot more of it is about information sharing and truly collaborating to keep the bad guys out.
Excellent. My last question is on diversity. And again, this is coming to the fore at many different conferences. What advantage does diversity give and how can banks, again, best address it?
Absolutely. And I think in particular for Ireland, this is an interesting topic. So we've talked a little bit about the economy, and with unemployment rates currently at around, 5%, just over 5%, it's really low unemployment. And therefore, given the growth that we've discussed, it's absolutely critical that organisations within Ireland really leverage all of the talent that they've got, all of the different skills, and that comes from a diverse population with diverse skills, and all of that really adds up to having a really vibrant ecosystem.
And do you think that gives them a business advantage at the end of the day?
I think it's actually a business imperative that the organisations leverage capabilities. On one hand, organisations are having to be resilient, deal with legacy, they're dealing with financial crime compliance, they're innovating at the same time, and new technologies, and absolutely people skills are going to be at the heart of that. We talked a bit earlier about who will win out from a competitive perspective. I truly believe those organisations who leverage talent will be right up there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your insights, Cate.
Thank you for your time, Jo.